So today, we're going to jump back in time to explore the incredible, ingenious ways our ancestors built their homes. And I mean, forget blueprints and power tools. We're talking about pure survival, amazing resourcefulness, and creating shelter with, nothing but what the earth provides.
But hey, before we dive into all these cool structures, let's just start with a really basic question. Before we had modern construction or insulation or electricity, what did a shelter actually need to do? What were the absolute must-have non-negotiables for just staying alive?
Okay, so that's exactly what this first part is all about. We're going to dig into the real purpose behind these very first forms of architecture. And we have to understand them not just as buildings, but as brilliant solutions to that fundamental human need for shelter.
So what exactly was a built shelter back then? Well, it was way more than just a roof over your head. Think of it as a shield against rain, wind, and snow, a fortress against predators, and, yeah, even a defense against other people. And what's really key here is that its design was almost always shaped by a nomadic lifestyle, tied directly to the patterns of hunting and gathering.
All right, with that idea locked in, let's take a little trip around the world. We're going to see how totally different cultures solve the exact same problem using only the materials they could find right there.
First up, we're heading way up north to the harsh, frozen landscapes of the Arctic. Now, in a world of just ice and wind, builders used the most common and maybe the most surprising material you could find: frozen water.
The igloo, an Inuit house, is just a total masterpiece of engineering. It's built from these blocks of hard-packed snow, and that dome shape gives it incredible strength. But here's the crazy part. All the tiny air pockets trapped inside the snow act as a fantastic insulator, keeping the inside so much warmer than the freezing temperatures outside.
Okay, from the Arctic, let's head over to the huge open plains of North America. Here, life was all about being on the move, following the great buffalo herds. So, your home had to be just as mobile.
And that's where the teepee comes in. Its genius is all about portability. You have this cone of long wooden poles that you cover with tough animal skins. The whole thing can be taken down, packed up, and moved in almost no time at all. It's the perfect design for a nomadic life.
All right, how about we jump over to the dry, sun-baked American Southwest? Here we find the hogan, a shelter that doesn't just sit on the landscape, it honestly looks like it grew right out of the earth itself.
The hogan is a traditional Navajo dwelling, and it's amazing because it is literally built from its surroundings. You've got a frame of logs that gets covered with earth, mud, sand, and sod. This creates a super thick, solid structure that's amazing insulation against the desert's brutal heat during the day and the cold at night.
Okay, we're still in North America, but now we're moving into the woodlands, where we find the wigwam, another totally brilliant shelter built from whatever flexible local materials were around.
So, you know how the teepee was that sharp cone? Well, the wigwam is typically a dome-like home, usually round or oval. You make it by bending these flexible wooden poles into arches and then just covering that frame with whatever you've got. Big sheets of bark, woven mats made from rushes, or animal skins.
Let's hop across the Atlantic now, all the way to ancient Ireland, to check out a shelter that was absolutely built to last. We're talking about something made entirely of stone, designed to stand up to centuries of wind and rain.
The clochon is all about the art of dry stone construction. It's a beehive-shaped hut, and it has what's called a corbelled roof. That just means that each layer of stone sticks out a tiny bit further than the one below it, until they all meet at the very top. It's this incredibly clever trick that creates a weatherproof, self-supporting roof with no mortar at all.
And for our last stop on this incredible tour, we're heading to the sun-baked region of Apulia in southern Italy. This place is home to a truly unique stone dwelling, known for its iconic, almost storybook-like roof.
This is the Trullo, a traditional home made from rendered stone, and its defining feature is that wonderful cone-shaped roof built on top of a square room. A lot like the clochon we just saw, it's a form of dry stone construction. It just goes to show another culture's complete mastery over a really challenging material. Okay, so putting two of these side by side, man, it just nails the whole point perfectly. You've got the teepee, designed for a nomadic lifestyle using lightweight, portable stuff, and then you have the Trullo, built for a settled, farming life using heavy, permanent stone. You see, in both cases, the way of life dictates everything: the materials, the shape, the whole essence of the building. So, after seeing all this incredible stuff, what's the big takeaway? I mean, what are the common threads that run through all of these designs that seem so different on the surface?
Let's see if we can pull out some of that timeless wisdom.
You know, it really doesn't matter if we're talking about an igloo made of ice or a trullo made of stone. All of these shelters share the same basic DNA. They are perfectly adapted to their local environment. They show unbelievable ingenuity with whatever materials they had. Their design is driven, first and foremost, by lifestyle. And because of all that, they are sustainable by their very nature.
And really, that leaves us with one last big question to chew on. In our modern world of concrete, steel, and glass, we've obviously built some amazing things. But when you look back at the simple, elegant, and just deeply intelligent solutions of our ancestors, it makes you wonder, in our rush to build the future, what essential wisdom from the past have we forgotten?